In this video, we'll be taking a look at 3 college basketball games happening on March 10, 2022. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released, so that you have more time to plan out your bets. As we provide these videos on a daily basis, I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 3 college basketball games after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start. If you would like to gain access to our best exclusive betting picks to take your sports betting journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below, where we offer anywhere from 2 betting picks a day up to 10 betting picks a day and much more. Now let's get started. Mississippi State versus South Carolina. It's championship week on the college hardwood, which brings us to the Sunshine State for the Southeastern Conference Tournament. The 10th-seeded Mississippi State Bulldogs are the road team as they take on the 7th-seeded South Carolina Gamecocks in a second-round matchup Thursday evening. Mississippi State comes in off a 67-64 road loss to the Texas Aggies in their regular season finale Saturday. South Carolina was dropped 82-71 on the road by number 5 Auburn in their regular season finale Saturday. In the all-time series between the programs, the Bulldogs own a 26-17 advantage, though they split 2 meetings this season. South Carolina picked up a 66-56 home win in the most recent matchup February 23rd. South Carolina State is 3-0-1 against the spread in their last 4 games played on a neutral site. Morgan State is 1-5 against the spread in their last 6 games played on Thursday. The under is 4-0 in Morgan State's last 4 games played on a neutral site. The under is 3-0-1 in Morgan State's last 4 games following a straight-up win. The under is 4-0 in South Carolina State's last 4 games following a straight-up loss. The Gamecocks have covered the spread in 5 of the last 6 as the underdog and in 6 of the last 8 overall. In contrast, Mississippi State has failed to cover the spread in each of its last 5. On the season, South Carolina was an above-average 17-13 against the spread, while Mississippi State was 15-16 against the spread. South Carolina was 1-1 straight up and against the spread this season against Mississippi State. In the most recent matchup, the Gamecocks won 66-56 and covered the spread as 2.5 points underdogs, which will be similar to the outcome today. South Carolina has had major success covering the spread as the underdog, so the South Carolina Gamecocks to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. The total has finished over in 13 to the last 17 games that Mississippi State played on a Thursday and in 6 of the last 9 games that the Bulldogs have played during the month of March. South Carolina has seen the total finish over in 10 of its last 11 games. South Carolina is allowing an average of 70.2 points per game, and the Gamecocks are scoring an average of 71.6 points per game, while Mississippi State scores an average of 71.2 points per game. So over the projected total is our full game total pick. Maryland versus Michigan State. The 10th-seeded Maryland Terrapins will take on the 7th-seeded Michigan State Spartans in second-round action of the Big Ten tournament on Thursday. Maryland finished the season with 4 wins in its final 6 games to move up to the 10th seed in the competitive Big Ten Conference standings. Michigan State, on the other hand, limped to the finish with just a 3-7 record in its final 10 games. The Spartans did win both matchups with Maryland this season and will be looking for the season sweep on Thursday. The Spartans are 28-11-1 against the spread in their last 40 Thursday games, although the Terrapins are 5-2 against the spread in their last 7 games following a straight-up loss. They are 4-10 against the spread in their last 14 Thursday games. The Spartans lost 4 of their last 6 games, but 3 of those losses came against ranked opponents and the other against the rival Wolverines. They are playing well offensively, scoring more than 72 points per game while making 46% of their shots and 38% of their three-pointers. They are aggressive on the offensive glass, which will give them extra scoring opportunities. Turnovers have been a problem for them this season, but they did a good job cutting back on their turnovers in their last 3 games and won't give the Terrapins a lot of easy scoring opportunities. The Terrapins aren't great defensively, but they played worse in recent games, giving up 74 points or more in 3 of their last 4 games, and will have a hard time slowing down the Spartans, who averaged 71 points per game in 2 games against them. The Terrapins aren't very good offensively, barely scoring over 70 points per game while making 43% of their shots. They don't rebound the ball as well as the Spartans and won't get a lot of extra scoring opportunities against them. The Spartans play well defensively, holding opponents under 70 points per game. They also force a lot of turnovers turnovers, which will lead to easy scoring opportunities. They played well defensively against the Terrapins in the regular season, holding them to 65 points per game in 2 games, and will keep their offense in check once again. Michigan State to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. The Terrapins are averaging 70.9 points per game and 71.2 points per game away from home. They averaged 66 points per game in their last 3 games against the Spartans, with Michigan State giving up 68.3 points per game. The Terrapins will be held under their average in this game. The Spartans are averaging 72.1 points per game. They averaged 66.3 points per game in their last 3 games against the Terrapins, with Maryland giving up 70.5 points per game. The Spartans won't score enough points to push the score over the total. The Spartans and Terrapins played under the total in 7 of their last 10 meetings. With that in mind, I believe this game will be more of a defensive game that will be decided more by the depth and key shot making of the Spartans than an overall explosive back and forth game. Maryland came back from a 22-point deficit on Sunday due to a 3-point shooting outburst that has not been apparent all season. The Terrapins have only made 142 3-point shots this season, and that number will be more represented in this game. Expect the Spartans to control play, and for this to be a game played in the low 130s. Neither of these offenses are particularly explosive, and neither team possesses a player that can single-handedly take over a game. So under the projected total is our full game total pick. Oklahoma versus Baylor. 2 Big 12 teams will face off against each other in the quarterfinals of the conference tournament on Thursday as the Oklahoma Sooners travel to the T-Mobile Center to take on the Baylor Bears. Oklahoma enters this game with a 17-14 record after beating Kansas State on the road by 7 points in its last game, while Baylor enters this game with a 26-5 record after beating Iowa State at home by 7 points in its last game. Oklahoma is 1-9 against the spread in their last 10 games played on Thursday. The over is 8-0 in the Sooners' last 8 neutral site games. The over is 4-0 in the Sooners' last 4 games following an against the spread win. The over is 8-1 in Baylor's last 9 games played on Thursday. Baylor has beat Oklahoma twice this season, but the Bears had L.J. Cryer and Tichama Tichachwa in those games, which won't be the cause on Thursday. Led by seniors, Oklahoma's urgency has begun to show during the current 3-game winning streak. This will be the first game of a long journey for Baylor, whereas Oklahoma has no hopes of making the NCAA tournament if they can't get a win here. Oklahoma is playing better as of late, and at times Baylor hasn't been as consistent. Look for Oklahoma to find offensive success, and with their scoring they are going to find a way to keep this game close. So Oklahoma Sooners to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. Oklahoma has scored 72 and 78 points in their last 2 games, and over has cashed in 57% of their games as an underdog this season. The over has cashed in 54% of Baylor's games as a favorite this season, and they are averaging 74.3 points over their last 3 games, with both teams in the top 50 nationally in offensive field goal percentage. The over clearly has an edge here, so over the projected total is our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed. Subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.